Hello, let's do Wordle for January 9th, 2026. Let's hit play here. Yesterday we spun the wheel and Kenny's came up of Xylo. So thank you, Kenny, for making the world start with Xylo here. Let's see here. Okay, we learned two really interesting things though. One is that not only is there not one L, but there's also not two L's. And not only is there not one Y, but there's not two Y's. We also learned that the very common letter of X is not in the word. So, I mean, basically, we should get this in two. Steel is gone. There's no L, so we're going to have to come up with something else. Maybe I'll do trace today. That seems like a fun one. I think stare is probably just more powerful, though. Let's do stare. It's fine. All right, not an ER word today. We have a T and an E. E's not at the end. So where does it go? Maybe in the middle? E or like an ETCH maybe? Is it let's see, I know there's fetch. Is there others? I think it's just fetch. We already made fetch happen. I remember that because I made that joke. So fetch has been the word before. Is that the only etch? Yeah, I just don't think it's a trap. So it's not that. It can't be TTY. We know that there's no Y's. There's not even two Y's. So maybe just something simple like an ETI or an ETO. There is fetid. I do like the word fetid. I don't remember if it's been the answer before. I seem to recall it being the answer and people being annoyed that I knew the word. And I know it from Magic the Gathering. So another one that I'm pretty sure has been the answer before. Detour. There's no R. Detox. There's no X. Can't do detox. I really want this to be like a ET something. We could do ETE, like meter. But the problem with E fourth, and the reason I'm not considering it is most of them are gone. Like ETED and ES and ER generally don't happen. I mean, ER happens, but R's gone. We could do an EN or something, but another option is TE, and then we can just do like an I or a O or a U or something. Tepid. I don't remember if tepid's been the word before, so we're going to guess tepid. All right. Well, there's an I. Do I need to switch these? Maybe it ends in ET. Ooh. I'd guess bidet, but D is gone. Or is it IT? I don't know what we're ending with if we do this. N? Biten. No, I don't think that's it. Like, what else can we do? Maybe just an IE word with like a T at the end or something. Can't do ST, NT. Like a faint is see, even my fingers want to write faint this way because that's how it's spelled. This is harder. No, I don't think this works. Thief. I think thief works. No, it doesn't. Can't start with T. Right. It doesn't start with T. Ah, shoot. Piety. Wow, this is tough. I don't know if it should be tough, but I'm struggling. Could we be the number 8? Ooh, did I avoid the ite trap by getting an E? Okay, it is 8. All right. 8 is the nasty one in the ite trap. Ooh, we're gonna have some losses, but only for people who don't try E. So maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to say because normally the ite trap is really nasty, and a lot of people lose because there's just so many of them, like white and fight and 8. And there's more, but anyway. But the thing is, like most people try an E early. So yeah, I'm curious. I'm not even going to guess at solve right here. I'm just curious about it. Before we do any of that, though, we are going to spin our members wheel and see what we're starting with tomorrow. All right. Grace, suggested by a big 23. And also, for my YouTube members, I have launched a new website that allows you to manage your words on the wheel. And so, if you would like to use that instead of leaving comments, I would appreciate it because then I don't have to do the maintenance myself. All right. And that is wheel.sudokuadventure.org because I didn't feel like I already owned that domain. I didn't feel like registering a new one. So, nothing to do with Sudoku Adventure, but that is where you manage it. And I will include a link in the description. All right, so tomorrow, if you'd like to follow along, we will be starting with grace. All right, let's do our analysis. So we started with, the answer was 8, and we started with Xylil. Now, I didn't want to read it until now, but I did receive an email whose title was Optimal Next Guess after for today. So I'm gonna read that email now and see because this does not fully explore Xylil. And of course my email is taking forever to load, but here we go. Yeah, it's not fully tested. So traps is the best next follow-up according to this bot, according to the optimal bot. So we are going to follow up with traps. All right. And then we get the T, so it's going to go to, oh, I should analyze my own. I'll analyze my own after this because I just looked this up. All right, so it's going to go donut. And then it's going to go fillet. See, it didn't get the E. So it's really concerned about this ite trap. We've got 8, fight, might, white. And so fillet gets us fight and light. Well, we already know there's no L. Why is fillet good? I guess it gets civet here, beget. It's just, I mean, all right. Almost certainly 8 now. Wait, but there were so many. Oh, because there's an E. It gets 8 and, oh, there we go. It gets 8 and fight. And so that gets us the 8. All right. So he gets it in 5. And it actually got, it was really working hard to avoid the trap there. And it's funny that the follow-up word is traps. And we're in a trap. All right. Anyway, I did stare. Let's see where stare was in the list. I have it here. Shoot. Okay. Stare is not here. Oh, it's not on page 1. Not on page 2. Wait. It's just not here at all. Okay, it doesn't like stare at all. It hates stare. Yeah, I can search. All right. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing, but it hates stare. I think it loses probably. I mean, this worked out fine, but that's because of the coloring. It's just petite. I did tepid. That's on the list. And now we were down to civet, which I don't think I would ever get. I don't know what that is. I'd probably have to force myself into it. 8. Evict, I didn't think of. And quiet, I did not think of. But just those 4. And it said 8. It said just go for any of them, and they'll get the other ones. So I just got lucky. Got it in 4. All right. Lucky in that is the only word I thought of. I tried for a while, as you saw. All right. Well, let's look at tails then. It's going for retie. Really looking for that E. And then now edict or evict. And then we get 8. All right. From steel, it's probably going to be a little different because the different yellows. We're going to go tighter. We're going to repeat the T instead of the E. And then just from there, we only have 8. That might be hard to think of. All right. And then, okay, that was steel. We're going to do adieu, the most common starting word. We have the I and the E. We go relit. And from there, it's 8 or inept. So 3 or 4. And then audio. With that I, we always go pissed. And then timer. And then 8. All right. Again, might be hard to think of. Stare. Basically. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because we don't know if there's an L or a Y, and that makes a difference, I think. It's going to go tenet here. Then from here, it's going to go edict and then 8. All right. Trace tries to get in 2. Does not today. We go sleep. And then debit and then 8. So this is 4. And then, let's see. After trace, just place. Place is the official bot start. With the E, we go deist. It goes something else. And then 8. I forget what it goes with just the E. All right. Well, let's analyze this solve, shall we? Saving a screenshot first so we can analyze both. Alrighty, so in hard mode, it's be a 94 skill. I like that. 49 luck. Okay, not lucky, not unlucky. All right, so 127 other readers started with Xylil, stare being the most common follow-up by far. Stern, steer, steam, stake, trace. Trace is what it would have gone. I considered trace, actually. Train, spare, snare, stain. Does it suggest at all what the optimal one was? It does not. I don't think it suggests. Oh, come on. Why can't I scroll this properly? Traps is what it wanted. It does not suggest traps, I don't think. Let's see. No, it does not. Very interesting. Okay. Give me a 97 skill for stare. Tepid gave me an 86. I wanted tenet or petite toned or bidet. All right. And then from there, 899 skill is exactly what I would have guessed. I mean, all 4 of them are actually civet is a 98 because it thinks civet is slightly less common. And so it doesn't want you to guess that. A lot of people went 8. A lot of people went quiet. All right. It goes place, deter, guessed 8. All right. We have 0.3% starting with 8. That's interesting. It's usually 0.2 cheaters. So is there 0.1 who normally start with 8? Xylo is at rank 277. And, ooh, a 93.1% solve rate. So people who don't have E in their start or follow-up are running into trouble. Losing on tight, fight, might, night, sight, light, right, white. I told you ite trap was bad. Bite, height, pite. Yeah, so this is like, it's hard to think of 8. So if you don't have that yellow E, or green E, I guess, if you don't have the E in previous guesses and you get into the ite trap, you might not think of 8 because it's so different. It's pronounced differently. And it's a vowel. So, yeah, this might be worst case scenario for people who don't have E in their starter. So that's a 93.1. And I'm guessing we're going to have a very similar stat for non-hard mode, but lower percentage solve rate. Let's see. Normal mode is usually what I call that. All right. Anyway, 8 is our. All right. Let's analyze that. Give me the same skill score here. A lot of North Times average is 80 today. All right. How many start with Xylil? 97. All right. So someone had an interesting tip, which is if the normal mode count is lower than the hard mode count, that means that I influenced it. Because there's so many more normal mode solves that if it's a natural word that people tend to like to start with, then the normal mode will have a much higher number of people than the hard mode. And so we know that this Xylil is we have about 200 people who follow along with me right now. Cool. And stare is the most common follow-up. Steer, steam, very similar. Stern, stain, snare. Fewer people doing trace, which is interesting. All right. Tepid, 8. Right. It does slate, tighter, 8. I believe that was similar to something we saw earlier. 0.5% starting with 8. 0.1 was Xylo. All right. 90.9. Yeah. So that is a good 2.2% lower. But it's all the same stuff. All right. Well, did you get trapped? How did you do? And that is it for Wordle. If you would like to watch the New York Times games, you can click at the end of the video. It'll take you right there. I also have a pinned comment with all the games I played today. If you enjoyed this, why don't leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.